In the evolution of every service-based business, there is a point where the founder's personal bandwidth completely evaporates. You are signing premium accounts, but your days are instantly swallowed by the exhausting logistics of delivery. You are chasing freelancers for updates, manually assigning project tasks, formatting client deliverables, and putting out daily operational fires. When you reach this state of administrative suffocation, the standard corporate playbook tells you to make one specific high-level hire: an operations manager. You are told to bring in an expensive human gatekeeper to sit between you, your team, and your clients to keep the machine running. But for the independent operator or lean agency founder, adding high-level executive headcount introduces a highly unstable variable into your business architecture. An operations manager is not a software tool. They are a human being with their own cognitive biases, emotional variance, and communication latencies. Instead of eliminating your operational overhead, you have suddenly created a massive new layer of management friction. You now spend your weeks writing training manuals, conducting performance reviews, answering continuous alignment questions, and cross-checking their managerial decisions. If they misinterpret a client's tone during an escalation or miscalculate a project's timeline, the financial and reputational fallout falls entirely back on you. You haven't bought your freedom. You have simply built a high-cost management layer that eats your margins and increases your complexity. True operational leverage does not come from expanding your payroll. It comes from hardening your infrastructure. High-level decision-making, project coordination, and quality assurance do not require human management. They require algorithmic precision. Today, we are opening up the blueprint for how to completely bypass the traditional executive hire by deploying 3 specialized Claude code skills. This is the exact technical methodology to transform your agency into an autonomous, one-person powerhouse where project management, crisis triaging, and delivery compliance are executed flawlessly in the background for pennies on the dollar. Skill 1: the tactical triage and resource allocator. The first core responsibility of a traditional operations manager is project management, acting as the central air traffic controller for active client deliverables. They open incoming project requests, break them down into individual tasks, match those tasks against freelancer availability, and monitor deadlines. This continuous coordination burns massive amounts of cognitive energy and introduces severe communication delays as assets move back and forth across different time zones. We completely replace this entire management layer with the tactical triage and resource allocator skill. This skill configuration operates as a deterministic engine wired directly into your agency's project intake channels via automated webhooks. The moment a client submits a new project brief or creative request, this module intercepts the data and executes a deep structural analysis against your active operational variables. Instead of a human manager spending hours reading a brief and typing out task descriptions, this code skill analyzes the objective parameters of the request in milliseconds. It references your central operations database, verifies the real-time capacity and specific skill tags of your contractor network, and instantly generates a highly optimized development sequence. The system programmatically builds the required subtasks, embeds your precise internal production guidelines within each assignment card, sets hard computational deadlines based on your client's contract tier, and updates your project management board. Your production team receives clear, perfectly contextualized instructions the second a request is made, completely eliminating the human management bottleneck. Skill 2: the asymmetric crisis and decision matrix. The second and often most stressful role of an operations leader is crisis intervention and boundary enforcement. When an active client escalates an issue, requests an urgent out-of-scope revision, or demands an unscheduled meeting, a human manager must step in to navigate the situation. This is where legacy operations frequently break down. Under pressure, human teams often suffer from decision fatigue, leading them to compromise on your pricing models or violate your operational boundaries just to keep a client temporarily satisfied. We eliminate this operational vulnerability by deploying the asymmetric crisis and decision matrix skill. This module serves as an unyielding digital barrier that processes all client escalations and scope change requests through a strict, emotionless operational logic layer. If a client demands an immediate layout change that falls completely outside of their active contract scope, this skill recognizes the violation instantly. It doesn't guess or compromise. It references your pre-established operational policies and scripts a flawless, hyper-professional, and authoritative response. The text outlines exactly why the request sits outside the current agreement, presents a pre-calculated upsell invoice generated directly from your pricing matrix, and places the ready-to-send draft straight into your communication portal. You never have to spend a single drop of emotional energy debating boundaries with a client. Your system enforces your rules with absolute, unwavering consistency. Skill 3. The Compliance and Quality Assurance Director. The final line of defense in any client-facing business is quality control. Before any deliverable, asset, or strategic document leaves your agency, it must be thoroughly audited to ensure it meets your brand's standards and satisfies the client's explicit guidelines. In a legacy agency model, this requires your operations manager to sit down and manually review every single file, checking formatting, looking for errors, and validating data points. This manual review process is incredibly slow, highly susceptible to human oversight, and acts as a massive operational bottleneck that stalls your delivery speed. We automate this entire quality assurance framework using the Compliance and Quality Assurance Director skill. This system functions as an automated digital editor-in-chief that audits your agency's output with absolute computational rigor. The moment a contractor changes a task status to ready for review, the Google Flow network captures the asset and routes it directly through this compliance module. If the deliverable passes this multi-tiered digital audit with perfect compliance, the skill automatically updates your project dashboard, moves the file into the client's delivery folder, and schedules a polished notification email. If the system detects even a minor deviation from your established guardrails, such as a misplaced brand asset or a sterile, robotic phrase, it instantly flags the error. The module generates a precise, time-stamped revision brief detailing exactly what needs to be corrected and routes it right back to the contractor. Your deliverables are systematically audited and processed in under 3 seconds, ensuring your agency maintains a flawless standard of quality without you ever needing to look at a draft. The financial math of programmatic scale. Replacing a high-level human executive with a network of specialized programmatic skills completely transforms the underlying economics of a one-person agency. When you scale using traditional headcount, your overhead costs scale linearly with your client volume, permanently suppressing your profitability. By substituting human infrastructure with an integrated digital brain, you eliminate the single largest expense category in your business. Your monthly management overhead drops from thousands of dollars to just a few dollars in computing costs. More importantly, you reclaim the massive amount of time and emotional energy that used to be burned on managing human operators. Your agency gains the capability to manage twice the client volume with absolute zero operational drag, allowing you to convert your business into a high-margin, self-sustaining asset that runs flawlessly on automated systems. The simple truth of running a high-performing agency is that high-level project steering and quality control do not require managerial overhead. They require algorithmic discipline. Allowing human variance to dictate your delivery compliance or boundary enforcement is a direct risk to your profit margins and sanity. Your operational challenge for the next 24 hours is to review your most recent client scope violation or difficult revision request. Write down the absolute rule that would have prevented that friction from happening in the first place, and hard-code it directly into a permanent policy file for your digital assistant. If you want to deploy the exact 3 Claude skill prompt architectures we use today to fully automate project triaging, boundary management, and quality control, the complete code packages are available for download in the link below. Subscribe to the channel right now because in our very next systems breakthrough, we are breaking down how to link these automated QA directors directly to programmatic contractor payout tracking systems to completely systemize your back-end financials. See you in the next breakdown.